Hi students, in this video I'm going to discuss the concept of sequences. A sequence is a function whose domain is the set of natural number and codomain is the set of real number. So generally the sequence is denoted by the with for bracket an, or we can write an. So n is equal to n is from 1 to infinity. So that can be expanded when n is 1. So that is a1, that is first term of the sequence. When n is 2, that is a2. When n is 3, that is a3, and so on. When n is n, that is n, where n is the nth term of the sequence. Let us take some examples of the sequences. The function a is a function from natural number to real number. So that is defined by n is equal to n square for all n is greater than or equal to 1. So that can be, that determines the sequence. When n is 1, that is 1 square, that is 1. When n is 2, that is 2 square, 4. When n is 3, that is 3 square, 9, and so on. When n is n, that is n square, where n square is the nth term of the sequence. n is equal to n square. Let us take another example. The sequence 1 by n. So that can be written as when n is 1, 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, and so on, 1 by n. So this is the another sequence. Let us take minus 1 to the power of n is also a sequence. So that can be written as, so when n is 1, minus 1 to the power of 1 is minus 1. When n is 2, that is plus 1. When n is 3 here, that is minus 1, and so on. Where nth term is minus 1 when n is odd here, plus 1 when n is even. So this is the nth term of the sequence minus 1 to the power of n. Now let us move to the definition of the range. Range is a set, it is a collection of the sequence for all n belongs to the set of natural number. For example, let us take the sequence 1 by n, that is n is equal to 1 to infinity. That can be written as 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, and so on, 1 by n, and so on, is a sequence. Let us correct the range. A range is a set for n is equal to 1, that collection of the sequence for every n belongs to the set of natural number. When n is 1, so is the element of the range. When n is 2, that is 1 by 2, is the element of the range set, and so on. When n is n, 1 by n, and so on, is a infinite set. Let us take, but in the set, all the elements are distinct here. Let us take second example, the sequence minus 1 to the power of n. So that can be written as when n is 1, minus 1 plus 1. When n is 3, that is minus 1. When n is 4, plus 1, and so on. So what is the range of this sequence here? So it is a collection of the sequence, and moreover is a set. In the set, all the elements should be distinct here. When n is 1, that is minus 1. So is the element of the range of the sequence n. When n is 2, that is plus 1. Fine. When n is 3, minus 1. So minus 1 is already represented here. So in the set, so elements, all the elements will be the distinct. So range of the sequence is minus 1 and plus 1. Now we'll move to the definition of boundedness of a sequences of real number. A sequence n is said to be bounded above if there exists a real number m such that for all n belongs to n, it means all the terms of the sequence an are either less than m or equal to m. So then m is said to be upper bound of the sequence n. We can show it in graphically. So this is the n is the function that is represented in the y-axis. This is y-axis, this is x-axis. N is greater than or equal to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Suppose the sequence is bounded above, there exists a real number m. You take a real number m here. So all the terms of sequence like a1, a1, a2, a3, and first of all sequence should be increasing sequence or increasing function. So this sequence should not cross the line m. So then we can write the sequence n is bounded above by the number m. It means all the terms of the sequence n either less than m or equal to m. So that should not cross the line m. So therefore m is the upper bound of the sequence. So now we'll move to the definition of bounded below. A sequence n is said to be bounded below if there exists a real number m such that for all n belongs to n, m is less than or equal to n. It means that all the terms of the sequence n greater than or equal to m, then m is known as the lower bound of the sequence n. So we can show it in the graphically. X-axis we represent the n and y-axis represents the function value an. There exists a real number m, so which is parallel to the x-axis, that is m. Now n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. When n is 1, you plot that a1 here. When n is 2, a2 here. When n is 3, a3 here, a4, a5, a6 and so on here. You can observe here all the terms of the sequence an greater than or equal to small m. You can observe that, and moreover it should not cross the line m. So then we can write m is said to be lower bound of the sequence an. We'll define the definition of boundedness of a sequence. A sequence n is said to be bounded if it is bounded both above and below. That is, if there exist two real numbers m and capital M such that m is less than or equal to an, less than or equal to capital M for all n belongs to n. So we can show it in graphically. So in the x-axis you represent n values and the y-axis represent n values. So there exist two real numbers capital M and small m. The sequence always sequence between the bounded by above and bounded by below. Let us take a1 represent here, a2, a3, a4, a5 and so on. So all the terms of sequence should not cross the line capital M and also line small m. So therefore we can write capital M is the upper bound of the sequence n, and small m is the lower bound of the sequence m. So now we'll define least upper bound. If m is an upper bound for sequence n, but no number less than m, then we can write m is least upper bound for the sequence n or supremum for the sequence an. So similarly we can define the greatest lower bound. If small m is a lower bound for the sequence n, but no number greater than m, so then m is a greatest lower bound for the sequence n or infimum for the sequence n. Let us take a example here. The sequence 2, 3 by 2, 4 by 3, 5 by 4 and so on. So that can be written as the 2, 3 by 2 nothing but 1.5, 4 by 3 that is 1.33, 5 by 4 1.25, no 6 by 5 is 1.2 and so on. So this sequence is a decreasing sequence. Let us show it in the graphically. X-axis represent n values and y-axis represent the function value an. You plot n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. When n is 1, first term is 2. This is 1, this is 2. Let us take when n is 1, a1 is 2. When n is 2, a2 is 1.5. This comes here. When n is 3, a3 is 1.33. Comes here. When n is 4, a4 is 1.25. Like this. When n is 5, 1.2 and so on, like this it goes. So this sequence is decreasing sequence. So there exists a number 2 here and there exists number 1 here. This is always like this it goes. So this sequence between the number 2 and 1. So therefore the sequence lies between 1 and 2. So 1 less than an less than or equal to 2. So therefore 2 is the upper bound of the sequence n and 1 is the lower bound of the sequence n. Also we can define there are many upper bounds for the sequence n, 2, 3, 4 like this, and there are many lower bounds of the sequence n like 1, 0, -1 like this. But here 2 is the least upper bound. So no such number, no such upper bounds are less than 2 here. So therefore 2 is the least upper bound and no such greater number here, greater than 1 here. So therefore 1 is the greatest lower bound. So 1 is the GLB of the sequence n and 2 is the LUB of the sequence n. So let us take another example here. Let n is equal to 1 by n. That can be written as 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4 and so on. So we can show it in the graphically 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. When n is 1, to plot here first term. When n is 2, 0.5. When n is 3, that is 0.33. When n is 4, 0.25 and so on. it is a decreasing sequence. When n increases, it approaches to 0 here. So it is bounded below by 0, it is bounded above by 1. So therefore the sequence lies between, so 0 less than an less than or equal to 1. So therefore 1 is the upper bound of the sequence n and 0 is the lower bound of the sequence. And no such number less than 1, no such upper bound less than 1. Therefore 1 is the LUB of the sequence n and 0 is the GLB of the sequence n. So this is a decreasing sequence. Let us take one more example, which is increasing sequence, and it is bounded by above and below. Let us take another example. Let the sequence an, that is n by n plus 1. So that can be written as, when n is 1, 1 by 2, when n is 2, that is 2 by 3, when n is 3, that is 3 by 4, that is 4 by 5, and so on. That is 0.5, 2 by 3 is 0.66, that 0.75, 0.8, next one is that is 5 by 6 is 0.833, like this. It is increasing sequence. Let us show it in the graphically. X-axis you represent n values and y-axis you represent the function values n. When n is 1, first term is 0.5. This is let us take 1 by 2. This is 1 by 2 here. When n is 1, a1 is off. When n is 2, a2 is 0.66 here. When n is 3, 0.75. When n is 4, that is 0.8. It goes on like this. That is it is never cross the line 1 year, and it never cross the line half year. The sequence always lies between the 1 and 1 by 2, and we can observe that the sequence will not cross the line 1. Therefore 1 is the upper bound of the sequence n, and the sequence will not cross the line by below of the sequence, that is 1 by 2. Therefore 1 by 2 is the lower bound of the sequence. Therefore the sequence lies between 1 by 2 less than or equal to n less than 1. Therefore 1 by 2 is the GLB of the sequence n, and 1 is the least upper bound of the sequence n. Now we'll move to the definition of convergence of a sequence. The sequence n is said to be convergent sequence if the sequence n approaches to the finite value L when n tends to infinity. When n becomes large, when n is large, so n should approaches to the finite value. Then we can say that n is said to be convergent sequence, and it is converges to the finite value L. Symbolically, we write limit of n as n tends to infinity is equal to L, where L is the limit of the sequence n. Let us take example here. Let us take example the sequence 1 by n. So let us plot the graph of the sequence 1 by n. When n is 1, the first term of the sequence is 1. When n is 2, second term of the sequence is 1 by 2. When n is 3, third term of sequence is 1 by 3. For the 4, when n is 4, 0.25. When n is 5, that is 1 by 5, so less than 0.25. When n increases, when n tends to infinity, that sequence is approaches to the 0. Therefore, so 0 is the limit of the sequence. We can conclude that the sequence n is convergent sequence and it converges to 0 as n tends to infinity. So we can define the convergent sequence in another way. The sequence n is converges to the real number L if for every epsilon there exists a positive integer n such that modulus of n minus L less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to n. So where L is the limit of the sequence an. Suppose the sequence n approaches to the infinity, which is not a real number, as n tends to infinity, then we can write a sequence or we can conclude that n is said to be divergent sequence and it diverges to infinity. So symbolically we write limit of n as n tends to infinity, that is equal to infinity, where infinity is the limit of the sequence n. We can define another way. For every m greater than 0, there exists a positive integer n such that an is always greater than m for all n greater than or equal to n. It means which is not a bounded sequence. Let us take one example. The sequence n is not a convergent sequence, it is a divergent sequence. It diverges to the infinity. Let us plot the graph of the sequence n. When n is 1, a1 is 1. When n is 2, a2 is 2. When n is 3, a3 is 3, and it goes like this. It increases. When n increases, n also it approaches to the what? Infinity. When n tends to infinity, even n also tends to the infinity. Therefore, so this sequence is a divergent sequence. It diverges to the infinity, and moreover, it is not a bounded sequence. It is bounded by below, but it is not a bounded by above. Now let us move to the definition of the oscillatory sequence. A sequence n is said to be oscillatory if the sequence neither converges to a unique finite limit nor to a plus infinity or minus infinity. It means that if the sequence is oscillatory, it oscillates between the finite limit points minus L to plus L, or it diverges to what? Plus infinity and minus infinity. It oscillates between plus infinity and minus infinity. Now let us take some examples here. The sequence already we said that the sequence 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4 is a convergent sequence. It converges to 0. Since it is getting closer and closer to a number 0 as n increases. The number 0 is the limit of the sequence 1 by n. Let us take another example, the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4 and n, where n is the nth term of the sequence, whose term gets larger than any number as n increases. The sequence that fails to be converges to a finite value then is said to be divergent. And let us take another example, the sequence 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1, whose terms oscillating between the minus 1 and plus 1 as n increases. Such sequence is said to be oscillatory sequence. Let us plot the graph of this sequence here. This is n, this is an. When n is 1, first term is 1 here. When n is 2, second term is minus 1. When n is 3, third term is 1. When n is 4, this is third term. When n is 4, minus 1. So when n increases, when n tends to infinity, it lies between plus 1 and minus 1. It oscillates between plus 1 and minus 1. Therefore, it is a oscillatory sequence. Now let us move to the some problems on the convergence of a sequences. Now let us consider the first problem. Show that the sequence 1 by n has n tends to infinity, that is 0. Here n is equal to 1 by n, L is equal to 0. Now to show that 1 by n approaches to 0 as n tends to infinity, we can show it in two ways. So first one is graphically, second one is through definition of the convergence of a sequence. Let us show it in the graphically. Let us draw the graph for the sequence 1 by n. X-axis we represent n values, y-axis we represent an here. When n is 1, the sequence first term sequence is 1. When n is 2, second term the sequence is 1 by 2. When n is 3, third term sequence is 1 by 3, that is 0.33. When n is 4, 1 by 4 is 0.25. When n is 5, it goes like this. When n increases, so an approaches to 0. So therefore 1 by n approaches to 0 as n large. Therefore the sequence 1 by n converges to 0. It is a convergent sequence. So we can show this sequence is a convergent sequence and it converges to 0 through the definition of the convergence of a sequence. Now let n is equal to 1 by n and here L is equal to 0. You know the definition of the convergence of a sequence. For any epsilon, there exists a positive integer n such that modulus of n minus L less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to n. So if this is holds, so we can say that the sequence is convergent sequence and it converges to the limit L. Here L is 0. Now we consider n is 1 by n minus 0 for any epsilon, that is epsilon is arbitrary, it is given by us. Sorry, let us take so n is 1 by n and L is 0, so that can be written as 1 by n. So anyway, n is a positive integer, so we can remove the mod here, that is 1 by n. So this 1 by n less than epsilon through the definition. So this implies n is greater than 1 by epsilon. So this n depends on the epsilon. So we choose a n such that n is greater than 1 by epsilon. Therefore, there exists a positive, for epsilon greater than 0, there exists a positive integer n such that an minus 0 less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to n. Therefore, you can write limit of an 1 by n as n tends to infinity is equal to 0. Therefore, the sequence 1 by n is convergent sequence, it converges to 0. Let us take the particular value of epsilon. When epsilon is 1, if I take an is 1 by n, 1 by n minus 0 less than 1. So let us see what is the capital N value here. N depends on this epsilon value. So this implies 1 by n less than 1. So when n is, n for all n greater than or equal to 1. So when n is 1, 1 is not less than 1. So we cannot take n is equal to 1 here. So when n is 2, 1 by 2 less than 1. When n is 3, 1 by 3 also less than 1. When n is 4, 1 by 4 also less than 1. So therefore 1 by n minus 0 less than 1, it holds for all n greater than or equal to 2. Therefore n is equal to 2 here. For n is 2, you can observe that here, for n is 2, so 1 by 2 greater than 1, less than 1, sorry. When n is 3, 1 by 3 also less than 1. So it holds for all n greater than or equal to 2. So this n, capital N value depends on the epsilon. You have taken particular value of epsilon here. If I consider some other epsilon, so that capital N depends on the, again, so particular value of epsilon. So this is another way to prove the result. So it approaches to 0 when n tends to infinity for the sequence 1 by n. Let us take a second example. Show that the sequence limit of the sequence minus 1 to the power of n by n as n tends to infinity, again it approaches to 0. Here n is equal to minus 1 to the power of n by n and L is equal to 0. So we can show the result by two ways. First way is a graphical method, and second way by using the definition of the convergence of a sequence. let us show by graphically. When n is 1, when n is 1 minus 1, this is the a1, this is consider minus 1. When n is 2, that is minus 1 by 2 comes here. When n is 3, minus 1 by 3, it comes here. When n is 4, positive here, 0.25. When n increases, when n large, so n approaches to 0. N approaches to 0. Therefore, the sequence minus 1 to the power of n by n approaches to 0 has n large. So therefore the sequence is convergent sequence, it converges to 0. So by graphical way we can show like this. Let us show this result by using the definition of convergence of a sequence. So you know the definition of the convergence of a sequence. Consider n minus l is equal to, for any epsilon positive, there exists n such that modulus of n minus l less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to n. Okay, now consider n minus l, so that is equal to modulus of n is minus 1 to the power of n by n. L is 0 here, so this is equal to minus 1 to the power of n by n. So anyway, modulus of n negative is positive, that is 1 by n less than epsilon through the definition. So this implies n is greater than 1 by epsilon. Now let us choose the n belongs to the natural number, so such that n is greater than 1 by epsilon. For all n greater than 1 by epsilon, so this condition holds. Therefore, modulus of modulus of minus 1 to the power of n by n minus 0 less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to n. So therefore you can write limit of the sequence minus 1 to the power of n by n as n approaches to infinity, that is 0. It approaches to the finite value 0. Therefore the given sequence is convergent sequence and it converges to 0. Let us take another. And now let us consider the example which is not convergent sequence. It means it diverges to the infinity. Let us take a example. The sequence n square or n diverges to infinity as n tends to infinity. You have to show that the sequence n diverges to infinity as n tends to infinity. Again, we can show it in two ways. First one is graphically, and the second one is through the definition of the divergent of a sequence. Let us plot the graph of the sequence n. When n is 1, first term is 1. When n is 2, that is n is 2. When n is 3, like this, it keeps on increasing. it is it is unbounded sequence. It is bounded by below, but it is a unbounded by above. Therefore, it is a unbounded sequence. Therefore, it diverges to the infinity as n increases. So, this is one way to prove the result. Let us move to the definition of the divergence of a sequence. Let n is equal to n here. Let m is positive be given. We have n is greater than m. For example, if I consider that is a1 1, a2 is 2, a3 is 3, like this it goes. If I take m is 4, if m is 4 here, m is 4, again when n is greater than or equal to 5, so that n becomes greater than 4 if I take m is equal to 4. Therefore, for all n is always greater than m, for all n greater than or equal to n, where n is capital N is 5. Therefore, it is a not a bounded sequence, it diverges to the infinity. So let us choose the n belongs to natural number such that n is greater than m. So from the this equation we can observe that n is greater than m for all n is greater than equal to capital N. Therefore, the sequence n diverges to infinity and sequence is divergent sequence. Similarly, one can take n square. We show that the sequence n square diverges to infinity as n tends to infinity. Again, we can show it by graphically. When n is 1, so a1 is 1. When n is 2, a1 is 4. When n is 3, a1 is 9, and it keeps on increasing here. So let us take n is equal to n square. Let m is greater than 0 be given. We have n square is greater than m. So this implies n is greater than square root of m. So let us choose n belongs to the natural number such that capital N is greater than square root of m. Therefore, from this equation, you can observe that n square is greater than m for all n greater than equal to capital N. So, therefore, you can write the sequence n square diverges to the infinity. Hence, we can write hence the sequence is divergent sequence. And now we'll move to the definition of limit points of a sequence. A real number a is said to be limit point of a sequence an if given any epsilon positive. There exists infinite number of terms of the sequence an in the interval open interval a minus epsilon comma a plus epsilon. Let us take example. The sequence an is equal to 1, 1 and so on be a sequence. It is a constant sequence. Let us take for any epsilon positive. So let me check whether a is equal to 1 is a limit point of the sequence or not. Now let us construct the interval a is equal to 1, 1 minus epsilon comma 1 plus epsilon. We can observe here, so the first term is lies inside this interval. A1 also belongs to this sequence. Second term again 1 is a element of this interval. A1, A2, A3 and so on. So all the terms of the sequence inside the interval 1 minus epsilon comma 1 plus epsilon. Therefore, so 1 is the limit point of the sequence, the constant sequence 1, 1 and so on. Let us check whether a is equal to 2 is a limit point of the sequence or not, given sequence or not. So let us construct the interval 2 minus epsilon comma 2 plus epsilon. Here, so let me take epsilon is equal to, for example, 1 here. 2 minus 1 comma 2 plus 1, this is equal to 1 comma 3. So let us check whether first term inside the interval or not. So it is open interval, so first term does not belongs to the interval a1. Even second term also does not belong to the interval 1 comma 3. For any epsilon, if I take similarly a3 also, therefore 2 is not a limit point of the sequence. So therefore only the one limit point of sequence, that is 1. Let us take another example. Let the sequence an that is equal to 1 plus minus 1 to the power of n. So that can be written as, when n is 1, that is 0. When n is 2, that is 2. When n is 3, 0. When n is 4, 2 and so on. So this is the sequence. Let us check what are the limit points of this sequence. Let epsilon be given is positive and a is equal to 0. Let us check whether 0 is a limit point of this sequence or not. Now let us construct the interval. We know a minus epsilon comma a plus epsilon. So this is equal to, let us choose any epsilon value. Let me take epsilon is equal to 1 here. So a is 0. So 0 minus 1 comma a is 0, epsilon is 1 comma 1. Yes, for the interval minus 1 comma 1, whether let us check 0 a1 is inside the interval but 2 is outside this interval. Again a3 is inside the interval. Here a1 comma a3 a5 and so on, a2n minus 1 and so on belongs to the interval minus 1 comma 1. Therefore, so there are infinite number of terms of the sequence contained in this interval. Therefore a is equal to 0 is a limit point of the sequence 1 plus minus 1 to the power of n. Let us check whether 2 is a limit point or not. So let us construct the interval a minus epsilon comma a plus epsilon. You take any epsilon. Let me take epsilon is equal to 1 here. Anyway a is 2 I considered here. 2 minus 1 1 and 2 plus 1 is 3. So this is open interval. So 0 is not a, it does not belongs to the interval 1 comma 3, but 2 second term is inside the interval and fourth term again is inside the interval. Therefore a2 a4 a6 and so on a to n and so on belongs to the interval 1 comma 3. Therefore infinite number of terms inside the interval 1 comma 3. Therefore 2 is a limit point of the sequence. Therefore 0 comma 2 are the limit points of the given sequence. Let me check whether another point is limit point or not. Let us check a is equal to -1. Let us construct the interval. A is -1. Let us take again epsilon is equal to 1. 1 -1 that is -2, comma a is -1 -1 plus 1 that is 0. Again -2 comma 0 is open interval. So no elements, no terms of the sequence does not belong to the interval -2 comma 0. Therefore -1 is not a limit point of the sequence. So now we define upper limit and lower limit of a sequence. If the sequence n is bounded above, then limit of the supremum value of n as n tends to infinity is the greatest limit point of the sequence. The greatest limit point is the upper limit of the sequence. Similarly, the smallest limit point of the sequence is the lower limit of the sequence. So let us take some example. Let n, the sequence n is equal to the sequence -1 to the power of n. So that can be written as -1 plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 and so on. So this is the given sequence. We know that we have seen that there are two limit points, -1 and +1 are the two limit points of the sequence. For the -1 there exists a open interval. That open interval contains there are infinitely many terms of the sequence n, and similarly for 1 also there exists a open intervals. That open interval contains there are infinitely many terms of the sequence. Therefore -1 and +1 are the two limit points of the sequence. Limit of the maximum value supremum of n as n tends to infinity, that is equal to +1, and limit of infimum of n as n tends to infinity, that is equal to -1. So 1 is the greatest limit point and -1 is the least limit point. So therefore 1 is the upper limit, -1 is the lower limit of the sequence.